Dr. Anders, I have a question about politics. I am a Catholic and am pro-life, of course, but I don't like politics. My non-Catholic friends sometimes challenge me and ask me my stance on abortion laws. Sometimes they cite examples that I just don't know much about, like high-risk pregnancies. So my question is, am I obligated to have an opinion on every aspect of this issue? Is it enough that I think abortion is wrong, even if I don't know what the political solution to the problem is? Thank you, Anonymous.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate the question. I appreciate the question more than you know, right? I really do. We don't live in a direct democracy, and you are not tasked with legislating or adjudicating or administering the government.
It's a democratic republic, right?
Now, if we lived in ancient Greece, ancient Athens, where they actually did have a direct democracy, the male citizens of the polis actually did make the decisions about legislation and judgment and so forth. That's not your role in our civilization, right? The care of the body politic has not been given to you, right? And so you are not obligated. It's not your responsibility to have a policy position on every issue that could pertain to government. As a Catholic, you're bound by certain moral imperatives.
Yeah.
But it's not obvious. It's not at all obvious. And if someone tells you it's completely obvious, and I think they're naive, or maybe they're selling you something, or they have an ideology, it's not at all obvious the way the moral imperatives of Catholicism translate into public policy in a pluralistic secular democracy.
Okay.
And Pope Benedict, when he was speaking to the Bundestag, the German parliament, made the point explicitly that unlike other world religions, Christianity and Catholicism in particular have never sought to impose a particular juridical order on society. That is not the job of the church, right? But rather to speak in broad terms about those moral imperatives and then encourage those who do have the care of the community, those whose responsibility it is to come up with and enforce policy, to implement policies that at least approximate that moral vision. Right, but that's not your job. And I think that, in fact, your apathy, if you will, about the political sphere can be quite virtuous. There is a tendency in our culture to act like policy is the whole thing. And I have known Catholics, non-Catholics, and others that almost equate their religious identity with holding a set of policy positions. And to me, that doesn't scan at all with the example of Christ. I mean, Christ didn't go around politicking about the latest imperial edict. He was almost entirely uninterested in such things. He was interested in getting into men's hearts and changing the way they evaluated their neighbors, not particularly interested in policy. Now, there are those, say, Catholics in office that have to think about that kind of stuff.
Sure.
But you don't have to.